Welcome back, everyone, and it is so good to see you. If you are new here, my name is Eve Daniels. I am a self-published children's author and a grad student currently studying in the wonderful land of Sweden, which is not nearly as nice and sunny as Florida, for the record. But it's that first bit, the author bit, that's going to come in handy today. Thank you for joining us on episode 3 of The Business of Books. As always, make sure you check out Kashay's portion of this collaborated video series, which will be going up today. I will link her video as well as the entire playlist down below and up in the cards. We will still be hosting our workshop this Sunday, so make sure you go ahead and bring all your questions to us then. Hopefully we can help answer any specific questions you might have and help you in taking your next steps on your author journey. Now let's start part 3, getting started as an author. Last time we covered some basics for getting started as a writer, but I did hint at a few key points that we will be bringing up this week. Now, if you missed that one, make sure you go back and rewatch it because we do build on each previous iteration with the following month's special. Let's cut to the chase here, shall we? How do you get started as an author? Identity, social media, business plan. Sorry if this is a little anticlimactic, but I am not here to tug you around. We just want to get straight into it and get you guys onto your next steps. Now, each one of these topics could very easily be its own series. In fact, I'm sure they are. Whether here on YouTube or on a platform like Skillshare, there are lots of different resources out there, and I encourage you to find them, use them, and share them with your fellow writers. This whole becoming an author thing is hard enough without us hoarding resources, so keep looking. Find resources that you like and share them. Step 1 was identity. Now, last month I asked you guys to think a little bit about your why. Your purpose for doing this. And there's a reason. Your purpose gives you strength. It gives you something to fall back on when things get hard or frustrating. And it gives you a way to narrow your focus when you feel pulled in a million different directions. And aside from all that really practical and completely worthwhile reasoning, it's also really useful for helping your brand. If I write historical fiction, pictures of me at the Renaissance Festival are completely on point. However, if I'm writing romance novels, selfies of me in the lab performing immunocytochemistry assays are probably not going to get that much traction. When you have an identity or a purpose, you have a reason to keep going. But more than that, you have a way to focus what is and is not a part of that identity. And when you put an identity on the internet, it becomes your brand. Last month, I gave you guys a little bit of homework. I asked you a couple of questions trying to get you guys to find your why. Gonna do the same thing this time. Down below, you will find the link to a Google document, which will take you to a couple of simple questions, helping you to go from your why to your purpose, to your identity, to your brand. Part of finding your identity or your brand has to do with how you present yourself to the world. And as far as that goes, there's one important thing you need to consider before you take your next steps. Are you going to use a pen name? Now, most of us already use modified versions of our name on online platforms, but this is an important question to consider. Whether or not you choose to use your real name, a variation of your name, or something else altogether matters. It matters a little bit for the genre that you're writing, but mostly it matters for a whole lot of other reasons that we're going to get into in a little bit. That's not to say that if you later decide that you don't want to use a pen name or that you want to change your pen name, it's the end of the world. It can be a little fiddly and it might cost you a couple of bucks. It's usually a fairly simple process. However, if you think that you might want to use a pen name, use one. There's a couple of different reasons for this. I'll talk more about the whys in Sunday's workshop, but just if you think there is a chance that you might want to use a pen name, do so. Step 2 for any starting author is social media. Now that includes a lot of different resources. Tumblr, Reddit, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok. I said YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, a half dozen other social media platforms that I don't know about because I'm secretly a grandma. Managing all of that is a lot, and it can be overwhelming, which is why I strongly suggest you don't try to do all of it. I've talked about creating social media budgets before, and I still think that it is a process that can be hugely helpful to starting authors. But for now, and yes, this is a real-time assignment, I want you to hit pause on the video if you have to, pull out your phone, go into your app settings, and take a look at your screen time usage. Where do you spend time on social media? Pause the video if you have to. This is an important step. So seriously, stop it. Okay, did you check? If you didn't, seriously, just check. Look at the top 3 social media platforms that you're using and think about how you might be able to use them for an author platform. Then pick the top 2 that you're most comfortable with using. Start there. You can always add on later, but spreading yourself too thin is a recipe for burnout. And like we talked about last month, when you're trying to make that transition from writer to author, balance is crucial. The last step, and I know it is the scariest one, but I am talking about this step right now for a reason, is a business plan. I'm not talking about a 20-page report with 5-year financial projections, okay? I am talking about a 1-page business plan. You don't have to have all the answers right now. But the reason I want you to start thinking about it is because decisions that you make in regards to how you want your author career to progress, whether that is self-pub or traditional pub, whether that is using a glamour press, using a pen name versus your own name, and finances, whether or not you have your own money to invest or are simply starting out with a flat nothing. These are factors that will decide the steps that you take next. They will inform every action you take, and they will dictate what resources you have available to you. And an inside tip, even if you are starting at absolutely nothing, you have more resources at your disposal than you think. I know we've thrown a lot at you, and I know it's a lot to think about, but I want you to start this process. These are things that you need to consider as you make the transition from writer to author. If you have questions, please comment them down below. Join us on our workshop on Sunday, and we will answer as many as we can. If you can't get to us on the workshop, send an email. The link is down below. And if you are really serious about trying to make those steps to become an author, answer the questions, do the work, put the thought into it, and we'll see you on Sunday.